Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, what I want to talk to you guys about today is a trial that every student of knowledge faces. Now, a lot of my previous videos did shine a good light on being a student of knowledge, on studying Islam, and there's a lot of benefit in it and how beautiful it is. However, that does not mean that it does not come with its difficulties. A lot of things in life that one wants to achieve will be faced with difficulties. No one can, for instance, no one can get rich in one day. People have to strive and work. And it's expected when it comes to the dunya aspect that we will face trials, whether, unemployment or, whether unemployment or not getting as much money as we wanted to or not landing that job that we really desired. And that's expected. However, I think that when it comes to being a student of knowledge, people tend not to look at that part. And when they arrive at Medina or wherever it is that they're studying, they come and then when they're faced with this specific trial, this one trial that I'll talk to you guys about, they're like, I didn't expect this. I didn't sign up for this. And I've seen a lot of students who left the Jamia Islamia for this specific reason. And they left it going into, well, I thought it would be different. I expected it to be different. I thought it would be easier. I just want to talk to you guys about the one trial that every student of knowledge faces. The one trial that every single one of us will face once we start this road to being a talibul ilm. And I want to talk to you guys about how to overcome that trial. Obviously, it's, just stating an issue and not giving any nasiha can be pretty downbeat. So I want to talk to you guys about how we can overcome it and the things that we can do to help ourselves when it hits us. So let's begin. Now, I know many of you are asking, what's this one trial that every student of knowledge faces? Now, in order to answer this question, I actually want to talk to you guys about when this Imam from Albania came to Medina a couple of days ago, and we had a meeting with him. And in this meeting, he gave us a lot of tips, what books to study, what to focus on, about the Jami and all that stuff. And he was going down the list of a lot of trials that students of knowledge face, wealth, laziness, losing hope, or looking back at their life before being a talibul ilm and missing that. And what he said was, and this is what he said that really hit me and made me really want to make this video. And he said that Allah will test the student of knowledge with the thing that Allah knows that he will have the most difficulty with. It's essentially what Allah sees, what Allah wants to test you on, that will really, put you in the ringer, that will really test you, that will really push your limits. And Allah says in the Quran, do not think that you will be tested, that everyone who goes closer to Allah will be tested, because Allah wants to essentially weed out the good and the bad people, the people who will prosper, the people who will fail. People who want to go closer to Allah will be tested much more than those who already gave up on Allah or don't pray. I've seen so many people here have different trials and different reasons for leaving the Jamia Islamia. I know this one guy who was talking to us, and he was saying how, I finished this degree, I did that, I had a high-paying job, now I come here, and, the matam food is not that great, he said, and I only get $200 some a month. Went back home, I was getting over 1,000 or whatever it was. That hit me because I saw him having this difficulty that Allah is testing him in his weakest aspect. This aspect of, will I make money? Will I be able to succeed? I know other individuals who had issues of doubt. They were really intelligent individuals, super intelligent, logical, and they knew so much Quran and Hadith, but they had doubts. And it was these persistent doubts saying, well, how about this? Or what about this? What if, can something come from nothing? How can God be this? And this individual wasn't tested with the aspect of wealth. They were fine with whatever money they were getting. They didn't have that issue. But those doubts permeated, and they found that they could not escape it. And because of those doubts, that individual would not read his Quran as much. They would not pray sunnah. They would not do the morning dhikr or the adhkar. They wouldn't do those things because of those doubts. And Allah tested this intelligent individual with those doubts, because that is a moment that he held up so high, and Allah knew that I'm going to test him through that. And Shaitan knew that if I were to hit this individual in this aspect that he has so strong, that he has firm beliefs, I know that I can cause him to move away from being a student of knowledge. So that was the trial that every student of knowledge faces. Every student of knowledge will be faced with a trial that Shaitan will hit them with and Allah will test them with. And I think many people are expecting a specific thing, like every student of knowledge will be tested with wealth. No, I know some students of knowledge here who are not tested with wealth. I know some students of knowledge here who literally have bought a new car. I saw somebody who has like a Benz. Some people are not tested with wealth here, and but everyone is tested with something that they are da'if, they are weak in, and however, everyone is tested with something. But now I want to go on to the second point of this video, is how do we deal with this trial that we're having? And again, everyone is dealing with a different trial, so I can't just point at one thing of you have no money, work online. Oh, you have doubts, watch Muhammad Hijab. No, it's like there's different things that you have to focus on. And I think there are 3 ways that we can conquer this trial that we're having, this difficulty this test from Allah. One of the ways is sabr. Yeah, I know. Everyone hates when people say, have patience. But it's really true. If you look at the lives of the prophets, if you look at the lives of the companions, the only way they accomplished things was through patience. They didn't give up. When the Prophet ﷺ went to Taif, thinking that he's going to go and get a Muslim land, he went to the Zayd and all that stuff. And it was the worst year in the Prophet's life. He lost Khadija. He lost his uncle. Then he goes to Taif, and none of them believed him. Not only did they believe him, they cursed him. They threw rocks at him. And imagine the position the Prophet was. But again, the Prophet persisted. He didn't give up. He strived forward, and he was able to lead a nation. He was able to go to Medina, lead a nation, build a Muslim society. And even after that, in the Battle of Uhud, when they lost, many people died in the Battle of Uhud, the Prophet ﷺ didn't give up. The Sahaba didn't give up. They pushed forward. They learned a lesson from it. And this goes into point number 2, which is learning from our mistakes. A lot of times when we fail, when something happens, something doesn't go the right way, is based on us messing up and based on us doing a sin rather than outside force. We can always attribute something to an outside force, but attributing something to an outside force is just us taking the burden away from ourselves. And I think it was Imam Shafi who was the one who, saw the ankle of a woman. Just because he saw the ankle, he couldn't memorize as much. He memorized a little bit less because he did a tiny sin. Imagine, and it wasn't that day I was tired, or, that day I didn't sleep well, I didn't get my morning coffee, or, whatever. He saw a sin that he did. And to us, maybe it's so tiny, like an ankle of a woman. But again, to him, that was a massive thing that stopped him from memorizing. Not being self-reflective. And I see this in so many people. People will blame everyone else but themselves. There was one individual in a mahad prior to me going to Jamia Islamiyah who was stuck, who had a very difficult time memorizing the Quran. But eventually he was able to memorize 4 juz. However, when he got onto the 5th juz, it's been over a couple of months and he could not memorize. And he kept on blaming the system. He kept on blaming that we have to wake up early, I don't have a lot of sleep, or, it's too hard, or they look over too much stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he eventually left the mahad. He didn't finish the mahad. He didn't finish the juz of the Quran, nor did he finish the mustawa, the semester left of the Arabic program. However, this individual was later accepted into Abha, this school in Saudi Arabia. I see him a year later, after he got accepted, after I heard that he got accepted. And then he said, no, I can't go, I have work, and I found a good job here, so I'm not going to go. And it's what shocked me was he had the opportunity to go to Abha, the thing that he was dreaming of, and he threw it away. And I think the reason why was because he wasn't self-reflective. I've never heard him say, I slept late. I never heard him. And sometimes I would see this individual, he would come late, or he would go out, or, he would stay on his phone, and he wouldn't be self-reflective. He wouldn't see what his faults were and why he didn't accomplish what he wanted to do. And that's the second point. Be self-reflective. Look at the mistakes you're making. Look at the sins you made. And a sin could be so tiny that could cause us to falter. Maybe you saw something on YouTube. Maybe something caught your eye when you were scrolling Instagram or Twitter. And because of that, that second, that moment that you didn't remember Allah, it made it so that this trial that you're facing was a lot harder. Yeah. So be self-reflective and understand that a lot of the issues that we're having, not all of them, but a good amount of them, can be solved if we're self-reflective and go back to Allah. And now this leads into my third point, and that is always go to Allah. Always make dua, always make istighfar, and beg Allah to help you. And sometimes it catches some people who they're in this trial, and instead of going to Allah all the time in seeking His help for this trial, they'll go to other means. If they don't have money, it's not like they go to Allah saying, "Oh Allah, make this easy, give me a risk, benefit my wealth, or put blessing on my wealth." They'll go to, okay, I gotta ask this individual, I gotta go work, I gotta go do this, instead of seeking the help of Allah. Obviously, we have to tie our camel as the hadith goes, but you also have to go back to Allah. To highlight this point, look at the story of Aisha when she was accused of doing something immoral. And imagine even when she was accused of this, no one believed her, or no one could realistically believe her because there was an accusation. But even the Prophet ﷺ did not go on her side, nor did he really go against her. He was in the middle, what should I do? And in this moment of weakness, in this moment of desperation, what happened? Allah sent revelation on her. Allah sent revelation defending Aisha. And in Sahih Bukhari, there's actually I think a chapter or a big section on the story, on the case study of Aisha. And Aisha says when revelation was sent on to her, she said, and when revelation was sent to her, Aisha said in this, part of the hadith, she said, "Wallahi ma dhanantu an yunzila sha'ni wahya." Oh Allah, wallahi, I did not expect that Allah would send down revelation for me. And imagine after everything was gone, what trial she faced. This must have been the most difficult trial she faced, when no one believed her, nobody was on their side, and Allah sent revelation for her. And she was shocked at that too. She would never expect a revelation, a thing to be sent down to her. And I think the point I'm trying to get across with this story and this video is that everyone faces a trial, no matter who you are. Everyone's going to face a trial. And when I said this video, the trial, and the reason why is because there will be a trial that'll be extremely hard for you, maybe the most difficult trial in your life, whatever the case, whatever the trial may be. Especially when you're a student of knowledge, you will be faced with especially with being a student of knowledge, getting closer to Allah, you will face a lot of trials and difficulties. However, you have patience, you're self-reflective, and you go towards Allah. Allah will do things for you. Allah will help you in ways that you could never imagine, like Aisha, that revelation was sent down to her. Allah will help you in ways that on the outside no one can explain, but we know that it's from Allah. So guys, this is the video. I just wanted to give you guys some nasiha, stuff that I learned and stuff that I also need to implement as well, especially from the scholar from Albania who came down and talked to us. This was a very good and beneficial lecture, and I hope to see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.